and Matchroom Boxing USA announce a new groundbreaking partnership.
First of all, welcome to New York once again, the home of the first place New York
I've got
Yankees.
to get myself a pair of those glasses.
You can get them online. I wish I worked.
Blue blockers.
BLUBLOCKER. You can get them online.
Fly.
They're on Amazon.
They are fly.
Yeah,
As they say, as the kids say in England, they are lit.
Yeah, they say that here too.
Do they? Good. Okay.
I used to be a kid.
Litty, lit.
Okay. Now let me ask you this. This deal that we've been talking about with DAZN, what will be your role in it? Because when you deal with HBO, you have Peter Nelson and his people. When you deal with Showtime, you have Steven Espinoza. What will there be some equivalent to that, or are you the equivalent to that for boxing for DAZN?
Obviously, you know, we're working for the platform. They're the guys who are paying the money. But at the same time, one of the attractions to this deal was our ability to work off a blank canvas in terms of the fights, in terms of the production, in terms of the look and the feel, in terms of the talent. We don't want to come on air at 10 o'clock because there's a film on before. We want to come on air at 5 o'clock, show the fans all the fights. We want shoulder programming, build-up programming to get you excited about the night. So I guess as a fight fan, this is going to be a platform built by a fight fan for the fight fan. Of course, we've got 16 US shows. We've got 16 of our big shows from the UK as well. Other boxing content going on. But this is a sports platform. This isn't just a boxing platform. Wait till you see boxing's just one of the sports they've invested in. So this is going to get plenty of traction. And you know, it's an honour really to have 16 shows. Obviously a lot of money to work with as well. But more importantly for me, the freedom to develop something different. You know, I don't want to be working with a broadcaster who, you know, for example, says that we can't do a walk-on like that, and we don't, you know, the music's too loud. We can't. You know, we've got to create a fan experience in the arena and for them watching at home.
How will this affect your deals? You have Danny Jacobs in the U.S. fighting on HBO, Anthony Joshua on Showtime. You've had fighters on other networks like Scott Quigg on ESPN. But specifically, how will it affect your shows on HBO and Anthony's relation with Showtime?
Well, Jacobs remains on HBO. And we're very happy with him on HBO. You know, I have a great relationship with HBO, but they couldn't give me what I wanted, which was a huge number of shows and a huge amount of money, because it was the only way that I was going to build an unrivaled stable of fighters, which I will do now. But I have a good relationship with Showtime. Joshua is a free agent in terms of US broadcaster, so we'll see what happens there. But you know, I have a good relationship with ESPN, with Top Rank. I'd like to think I have a good relationship with most people. And you know, this isn't about just trying to take over the sport of boxing. And if I fight,
the news articles say $1 billion takeover of boxing.
Yeah, well, there you go. They can write what they want. But listen, we intend to be the market leader, but we intend to work with people. Now, if I have fighters on my show that aren't promoted by Matchroom, that's no problem, as long as it's quality content for the fan.
Do you decide that, in other words, is there going to be, you obviously have John Skipper just came on, but is there going to be a boxing?
Yeah, I mean, we have a much more control than we would do working with another network, put it that way. And that's one of the appeals. It's not a case of we get away with what we want, you know? This is really about building quality shows, quality fighters, quality programming, quality support programming, shoulder programming for the fans. So the pressure's on us. They've paid the money, you know, and it's not a case of there's the billion, Eddie, good luck mate, we'll see you in 8 years. This is, there's the billion, Eddie, we want the best, so I have to deliver that.
The UK shows, are they going to be in the US essentially simulcasts of what is shown on Sky?
No, yeah, basically. So all of our
Adam Smith. Finally.
Exactly. Yeah. So he'll be there. Yeah. So all our UK shows will be shown on DAZN in America, and obviously our 16 US shows will also be shown live on DAZN.
Okay. Have you thought about announcing team? Because that's something that's very controversial.
That's another thing where what appeals to me is they want our input in that, and I've got my ideas. Doesn't mean they're going to listen to them necessarily, but at least I can put them across. But we're building from scratch. We've got a blank canvas, and that's really appealing to me.
To get people to pay for this service, you're going to have a lot of content on there, and the U.S. audience, because I know DAZN is in a lot of different countries, and so they could show the NFL in Europe or Canada or something, or another country, whereas here, the NFL is already contracted to be on mostly free TV or cable TV. Are there other boxing events? The World Boxing Super Series comes to mind, which has not gotten a U.S. telecast, even though they've had some great, you have some guys in that, they've had some great fights and great fighters. Have you thought about maybe working with something like that?
Possibly. I mean, we intend to attract other boxing content to the channel outside of Matchroom. So I will be working with DAZN to look at what's available in terms of US rights for the boxing subscriber. But again, when you look at the platform, this is just this is just the move into boxing. This isn't the move into baseball or NFL or basketball. That's to come. So
in the future, they said when those rights become free in the U.S. Right now they're tied up.
Yeah, but for how long? A year, 18 months. There'll be there'll be all kinds of content that they'll be looking to acquire. That's not really my business. My business is boxing. So produce the greatest shows that I possibly can, the best content from around the world for fight fans, and make sure that we make DAZN the home of boxing in the US.
What about the UK? Will there be any of your content on DAZN in the UK or other countries?
No, Sky. So all of our 16 shows in the US will be shown live on Sky Sports as well.
Okay, so it's going to be
great news for everybody.
Right, it's going to be different networks in different countries.
Yeah,
for people to
absolutely.
Get
DAZN is our US TV partner.
And do you see this in some ways in competition with the new ESPN Plus, which is showing a lot of boxing?
I guess it is. I mean, again, once everything's up and running, you'll see the ESPN offering and you'll see the DAZN offering. Interestingly, John Skipper probably did that deal with Top Rank.
Yeah,
now he's heading up Perform and DAZN. So it's funny how the world moves around. So he's a very intelligent guy. He has huge credibility in the business. He knows what he's doing, and I'm delighted to be working with him.
Last thing, because I know you've been asked this before and there's a lot of speculation. Do you have a time frame when we're going to have an announcement on when Anthony Joshua's next fight will be?
I would say in the next 3 weeks, something like that. I mean, people ask me, is there any update? All I can say to you is we're talking, we continue to talk. There's good communication between myself and Al Heyman regarding questions that need answering. We're keeping it out of the media at the moment, which is good. And AJ wants to fight in the UK. He feels like he's earned that right because of what we've built there. So we're talking, and we'll see what happens.
All right, good luck with this.
Thank
We're
you,
going to find out and see how this goes, and we'll start the Eddie Club again.
Let's go. Cheers, mate.
Within it. So the fact that ESPN are now doing an OTT service at last is good news, and we hope that they do a good job of convincing people the future of sport is watching it on internet streaming.
Except from what I understand, to get ESPN Plus, you still have to have an active cable subscription, as opposed to DAZN.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have some restrictions because of their cable contracts, and also they're going to have some restrictions because they've got they've obviously got certain quality thresholds where they're going to keep their best content on their channels. Right, we don't have an ESPN 1 or an ESPN 2 or a Sky Sports 1. For us, those have been amazing channels over the last 30 years, but in the next 3 or 4 years, those channels don't make sense. People just want to watch live sport and on-demand sport when they want on whatever device. So any content that we sign will always be on the platform. We're not going to have a split between our channels and our OTT service. Everything we've got is all going to be in one package for one price. So they've got to work out how they transition and what they do, but for us the model's a lot simpler. We don't have any channels, we don't have an old channel business. Everything we've got is going to be on our platform for one price, no contract, you just sign up to it and you start watching.
Is it going to be archived if you missed a live one?
Yeah, so everything's live and everything's on demand. We find we have a lot of time shift viewing, so we'll obviously be having a lot of fights from the UK as well as the US. The UK fights will come in at a perfect time. They'll come in at 5 or 6 o'clock US time. We'll have the US fights at prime time. But we might have some fights from Asia as well that come in the middle of the night, so you'll be able to watch those on demand, or if you've missed some of our shows, you can watch them the next day. We archive everything for 14 days, and we show some of the greatest moments from the history of sport as well. So, yeah, if you can't make it live, you can watch it on demand straight away.
You said during the press conference you haven't worked out the price point yet. I know in other countries it's been about $20 US, which is a lot more than some of these other services. Do you have any idea what it's going to be about for the US?
Yeah, well, we're not going to announce it yet, but it's going to be consistent with the other markets. So in Germany, it's 9.99 euros. In Japan, it's 17.50 yen, which is about 16 bucks. So it's going to be a similar model, similar pricing, similar model. And the thing with the DAZN is it's not just the price. The price is going to be low, but it's the fact that there's no obligation, there's no contract, there's no strings attached. You just sign up to it. It's free for the first month. If you like it, you start paying. If you don't like it, you can pause your subscription, you can work it out. So there's not going to be any conditions or contracts, because we know we've got so much content, you're probably going to keep watching it and you're probably going to stay with us a long time. That's certainly what's happened in Japan and Germany. People have looked at it and said, in Germany it's 9.99 euros. In a Munich beer hall, you can get probably one beer for that. So people go, the price is right, the quality of the content is good, I'm just going to keep the subscription going. So it's not just about the price, it's about making sure that the terms are fan friendly and that consumers can watch it when they want, however they want.
And a technical issue, I was reading some fans in Canada were complaining about the NFL streams. They were having technical problems with it. How do you plan on dealing with that? Because the U.S. is very spotty in terms of its broadband speed, its technical issues. The providers, the telcos are not very good. The cable companies are really the worst rated in terms of consumers. So how do you see dealing with that?
We do a lot of work on the testing before we launch a service. When we've been rolling out in the new countries, sometimes a certain device has a certain glitch and you've got to work out how to make it work properly on that service. But we're already live in some big territories. We've got millions of people already using the service. So we're not worried about that. Obviously the challenges we have are different. So other OTT services like Netflix or Hulu are SVOD. They're on demand. Ours isn't on demand, ours is live. So it is, the pressure on us as a platform is obviously higher, because you can guarantee that people aren't coming in on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. They're all going to come in on a Saturday, 10 minutes before Eddie's fight starts. So we have to manage those huge peaks. But we've done it in all the other territories. The platform has been unbelievably stable. In the last 6 months, our average uptime is 99.91% of live content. So you're always going to have an occasional glitch with internet streaming, but I think plenty have gone before us now. It's pretty much stabilised in most markets. It's a good service, and we haven't had any major platform issues. And we've been showing some pretty big events in Germany and Japan, and things have held up very, very well.
When do you expect the U.S. launch to be?
It'll be later in the summer, so end of summer, and we'll start putting on some of Eddie's UK shows straight away in August, and then our first big show here in the US is going to be in mid to late September. That's the plan.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing how it goes. To me, the price point and the package of offerings are the key in this very crowded sports market in the US.
I agree. Yeah, perfect.
Right.
Thanks for coming. Okay, nice to meet you.
On the deal.
Okay, cheers. Thank you. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Bye.
And I'm Kristal Hart reporting from New York City. Hope you've enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.